Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 shots fired into this house. The scariest part, Jennifer's 13-year-old son was sitting right inside.
Yes, as Sam just said, you need to have these to be safe. I have my glasses. I am ready. They are handing these out here at the Great Lakes Science Center today. And a county administrator is apologizing and facing discipline for what he told employees who complained about their working conditions. A manhunt is underway in Cleveland for an escaped prisoner. He walked away from the hospital after officers took him there for treatment. The postal worker managed to get the woman's keys. He went to a neighbor and asked them to call 911. Yeah, this all happened about a half an hour ago. We're just outside of 30th and Cedar. Now, what police tell us is that several people were shot. You can see them working this scene behind me. They have the yellow crime scene tape up. They're talking to neighbors, trying to figure out exactly what happened. Now, we talked to a witness who said a man came in to the courtyard here. He was masked. He had long dreadlocks. Hatch says it's possible for the drones to fall out of the sky. He says the way technology has advanced, it's pretty uncommon. It just would have been fun if they could have saved a couple of those runs for last night, kept the streak going. But you know what? There's playoffs. We can do it then. Let this be a lesson. Now, the family tells me they think lightning struck this tree, then it went up the driveway, boosted up the car, then continued on into their house.
It made me scream. It was the loudest sound I've ever heard. It sounded like a bomb went off.
Donna Bloxage bolted out of her bed at 2:15 this morning when lightning struck her tree.
We looked outside and we saw the car lights were on. It sounded like the engine was running. We thought, how could that possibly be? So we came outside and saw the airbag was deployed and sort of saw there was quite a bit of damage.
The cement in her driveway popped up like popcorn. The current was so strong, firefighters told Donna it likely blew the car off the ground, slamming it back down so hard the tire blew.
It made everything sort of explode, even down farther on both ends of the driveway. It took out our garage door opener.
A water main just at the edge of the driveway also blew. No one can say for sure if it was related, but Cleveland Water tells me it has never happened before, and they're looking into it. The current also spread into Donna's home.
I saw a little part of the front room carpet had started burning.
And the lightning strike was so powerful, it actually blew out some of the outlets and light switches. You can see the charred marks from where it burned the wiring.
It could have started a fire, and that would have been devastating.
Yeah, the family tells me they are really lucky it wasn't any worse. Of course, now they'll have insurance adjusters and electricians stop by the house. And they've also had neighbors stop by, drop off bottled water, and check in on them just to make sure they're okay. Getting answers, Lacey Crisp, Cleveland 19 News.
Near that standoff, I know you're being kept a certain distance away for obvious reasons. But Lacey, fill us in on what you know.
Yeah, and actually they just moved us back not too long ago, about another block away from where the house actually is. If you can see down the street, the SWAT team, U.S. Marshals, Cleveland Police have all been on the scene a little over 3 hours. Now, they are looking for Tommy Griffin III. He is a former Cleveland police officer. He was arrested back in January for assaulting, kidnapping, and raping a woman. He is set to go on trial on Monday, but on Saturday, he cut his GPS ankle monitor and hasn't been seen since. Now, I spoke with his daughter yesterday. He was staying with her, and when she left for work on Saturday afternoon, she said she talked to him. He said he was going to make pierogies for dinner, so she had no clue that he was going to take off. She said his car was still in the parking lot of her apartment when she got the call saying, hey, do you know where your dad is? His GPS monitor had just been cut. Fast forward to today, about 11 o'clock, we got a call from the U.S. Marshals saying that they had a house surrounded. Potentially Griffin was inside. Now, on scene, we have been able to hear from the Bullhorn police saying, come out with your hands up. Can you at least come to the window, wave, let us know that you're okay? We don't know for sure that he is inside, but they do have this house surrounded, and I can tell you there are a handful of schools in this area. They have all been placed on lockdown. There are police officers at those schools. Parents have been notified to make sure that they know what is going on and that all of the students are safe at this time. But again, we have the U.S. Marshals, we have the Cleveland SWAT team surrounding this house, hopefully trying to bring out former Cleveland police officer Tommy Griffin III. And shortly before 10:30 this morning, Euclid police say they pulled over Richard Hubbard III. They had Hubbard get out of the vehicle, and according to police, he did not obey commands to face away to be taken into custody and began resisting. That's when people started recording on their cell phones. Just a warning, this video may be hard to watch.
That's what they do. That's what they do, though.
Euclid police tell us this incident was captured on dash camera. The arresting officer has been placed on paid administrative leave pending an investigation. And tonight, our other top story, one person is dead and at least 19 hurt after a car rams into a crowd of people protesting a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, and we're told the car had Ohio plates. And more breaking news. Cleveland 19 just confirmed the suspect's name. He is James Alex Fields. He is in custody right now. We are working now to confirm what part of Ohio he was from. Wendy Gillette has the latest from Charlottesville, Virginia. And we caution some of this video is graphic. And authorities say 15 other people were injured during clashes as people gathered for the rally this morning. Now, Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown is condemning the violence in Charlottesville. He released a statement saying, "My thoughts are with all those injured and their families. I'm grateful to Virginia law enforcement and first responders." And 2 more people are dead in Charlottesville after a helicopter crash. Police do not believe there is a connection between the crash and the violent rallies. The FAA is investigating but not releasing the names of those on board. I had no idea he would message me later last night saying he was the suspect, and police had him surrounded. Just before 9 o'clock Monday night, I got a tip police were surrounding a house for a possible suspect from the triple murder in North Royalton. Almost an hour later, I got a message from a man who was friends with the victim, a man who I tried to meet up with for an interview earlier that day. Here is part of our exchange. George Brinkman said to me, "Valley Forge Drive, Brunswick. Hostage situation, please come. Cops came for me. I'm barricaded. No lies." And I told him, "Get out of the house. Hands up." I called Brunswick police and made sure they knew Brinkman was talking to me on Facebook Messenger. They told me to continue talking to him to encourage him to go to police. And just to be clear, when I asked him for an interview, I did not know that he was a suspect. We talked to dozens of people on Facebook like Brinkman every day for stories. Now, it was hard for me as a mom of 2 daughters when I realized I was talking to a man accused of killing a mom and her 2 daughters. It was an unnerving evening for me. And a story we brought you as breaking news at 7. A fatal crash at a gas station. A driver hit a woman who was pumping gas. See, New Yorker was at the scene all afternoon getting answers. Sia, how did this happen? Thank you, Sia. And police are hunting for a woman who dragged 2 people with her car as she tried to rob them at local stores. Now, the first happened at Walgreens on State Road. The suspect tried to grab a woman's purse in the parking lot, dragging her along with her car. She tried to rob a 70-year-old man outside the Target store at Steelyard Commons and dragged him too. He fell and injured his hip. Police say the thief is driving a burgundy car, possibly a Cobalt. And the Great Lakes are getting some extra attention this weekend with teams of volunteers strolling the shorelines to pick up debris and trash. The Alliance for the Great Lakes sponsors the regional Adopt a Beach program every September. Cleveland 19's Damon Maloney is getting answers on how the cleanup will help researchers. And next at 11, a woman is left paralyzed after a hammock accident. Find out what she wants you to know to keep your family safe. And caught on camera, a thief steals a dead man's clothes at a funeral home. The story coming up. Well, it's an emotional weekend for family and friends of a fallen Cleveland police officer. Patrolman Derek Owens was shot and killed in the line of duty 10 years ago, leaving behind a wife and children. Sia New Yorker reports on today's memorial service. Thank you, Sia. U.S. Marshals just arrested a man who tried to run over a local police officer, then led them on a high-speed chase. We're told 27-year-old Alfonso McPherson put a gun to his sister's head and threatened to kill her. When officers got there, he tried to run over one of them. 2 officers fired at the car, then chased after the car, but called it off when it got too dangerous. But found him today in Cleveland with a gunshot wound to his arm. He was treated at the hospital, then arrested. A deadly crash this afternoon on Cleveland's east side. Our 19 cameras on the scene after a car slammed into a Pepsi truck at East 105th and Chester. One person was killed and crews had to free 2 others trapped inside the car, which was partially underneath the truck. Police closed down Chester between East 101st and 105th until they cleared away the wreckage. Well, police want your help finding a porch pirate who grabbed a package from a home on Cleveland's west side. And we just got these pictures of the suspect. Police say a UPS worker had just delivered the box to a home on West 50th Street. That's when surveillance video shows the man pull up in a newer white SUV with a temporary tag and take the package. If you recognize him, give police a call at 216-623-5218. And there's still no solution to the immigration debate right now, and Lake County has seen some high-profile deportations. That's why the city of Paynesville hosted a panel of experts to talk about the issue and how it's affecting the community. And take a look at this picture of the little girl. Cleveland police need your help finding 12-year-old Sarai Gates. She disappeared Friday afternoon from her foster home on Nathaniel Road near Collinwood High School. She's 5 foot 5 inches tall, around 125 pounds. Call Cleveland police if you know where she is. And now to the war on the opioid epidemic. Parma is the latest city in Ohio to take action against drug manufacturers for their role creating the epidemic. Dayton and Lorain have already filed similar suits. And we want to help you spot the signs of opioid addiction. You can find all kinds of resources in the health section of our website, cleveland19.com. And 2 days after a jury found the man who hit and killed Ohio State Trooper Kenneth Velez not guilty, family and friends gathered to raise money in Trooper Velez's name. Now today, no one wanted to talk about that verdict, but instead wanted to remember Trooper Velez and continue his spirit of wanting to help others. Cleveland 19's Denise Zarella has the story. And the money raised at the race will help a student who wants to go to college. Good news there.